there is a big picture, and you have to consider that yes, you're creating within Second Life or an open sim, but it's really useful to also have a support structure that's offline. So if you want to draw in new people, they might not be comfortable using a virtual world, but if you have a really cool Facebook page or a Google Plus page and you have information there and forums and people talking and chatting, then you might actually get new eyeballs that will decide that, okay, maybe I'll try going to this virtual world. Um, and so, but I didn't know this. I had no idea that when I started this creative center, just how much time it would take. This is basically my second semester working on this thing, and it's nowhere near finished. And that's actually a fun adventure in and of itself. I don't know if there's any questions or anything I should go into in further detail.
Well, I don't know if they have the questions yet, but I don't know if you can hang out a little bit later too, Doris. They don't quite yet know what their project's going to be. I do think, okay, somebody's sending me a message. I think he's lost somewhere. I'll see if I can get a hold of him. Um, but what I want to do is maybe, Doris, if you could tell them a little bit about the contest, and I'll turn my mic off. And while Doris is talking, if we keep our mics off, that will help. But you can text her, and when she finishes talking, you can put your mic back on. But Doris has a contest, and I just emailed out her materials, so you'll probably get them after this meeting. But if you could explain to them what you want them to do, Doris, that would be great.
Sure. What I did was I received all of your screenshots and I was very happy to see them. It was really interesting for me to see how the space that I dreamt of was actually used. But then as I looked through all of them, I realized that some of them could fall into these fun categories. So I thought, well, why not do a sort of a contest where you have a category and then you guys vote on them. So, for example, I had one best snowman shot. I'm sure that a lot of you got some snowman pictures, especially when it went crazy. So what I did was a Google Plus photo album. Basically, you'll have to create a free Google Plus account, and then you can go and comment on the pictures. Um, Eileen emailed you the category. So what you do is you copy the category and paste it into the comments of the pictures that you think the picture belongs in. So if you see a great snowman shot and you think that's the one, then you just copy best snowman category into the comments field. This is going to stay up till next week, Wednesday, at which point I'll stop the commenting and then I'll count and then I will post a new photo album and it'll be the best of. And it'll basically be the best pictures in each category as you guys voted for them. And this way you get to see what everyone else was doing too. And you might be surprised at some of the perspectives and images that came out of it. Now, there's another aspect to this that I'm new to from the creating side. It's called badges. And basically, they're like limited edition little pictures that follow you around on the internet. Um, I am. This is new to me, so I'm. I think I have an idea of how it works, but I'll be doing Creative Center logos with the little category titles for the winners, and you'll be sent the picture and the link. And then this link, which persists, you can use in signatures on forums, in your email if you want it to. And it's just a little badge that says, I had the best flying picture or the funniest picture at this special event because, well, it's never going to happen again that Thursday before Halloween. So there will be the special photo album with all of the best pictures as you guys vote them. And then the winners will also receive these badges, which will have the category titles on them with the logo, the Creative Center logo. And I hope the badges work out because, again, this is my first time trying this. And they can be cool. And they'll definitely be one of a kind. So I hope you enjoy it.
Um, Questions for Doris? You want to speak them up or type them in? It
Yes.
Yeah, Doris assembled a nice one. It just went out about 15 minutes before this meeting, so you should have it tonight. And if you have questions, you can email them back to me or to Doris. Yes, yet? Okay, good. Oh, good. She put the link in already.
That is the link to the photo album that you can go and vote in. Remember, you vote by commenting and you put the category in the comment field. So if you think that that is just the funniest picture ever, then you just put funniest category.
And you'll see in the PDF that went out with Doris's work, she puts the categories right in there, so you'll know what she's looking for. And you won't know necessarily who took what picture. Doris is the only one who knows that. So you'll be voting by category, but she'll know the author. So we'll find out later who are some of the best photographers.
Any other questions? Doris, could you talk a little bit, when we were on in your space the other day, you talked a little bit about learning how to build things and assembling objects. Could you talk about that a little bit more? Because I was interested in that. I hadn't really gotten started. Well, I kind of jumped in with that snowman. We were just supposed to build an object with like three different shapes, and I got carried away. uh, I went online. I looked at the building forums. There's a great Second Life Wikipedia. Um, and if you find an active forum, they're usually really friendly and helpful if you have questions. And there are also websites that will generate free scripts. So once you build your object and you want it to actually be interactive, you can find the little scripts online. I don't remember those links offhand, but I think I have some of them up on the Creative Center Google page if you look at some of the older posts. There's also a video of me creating that snowman, and I try to give some tips as I go along, but I'm learning as I build it, and I think, oh, that might actually be helpful because you'll see how not to do some things and how some things work out. Thanks.
And not to be promoting courses too much, but Doris started her career, which she's gone on her own, in the practicum course, which is we have a version 1 and 2 where you'll learn. And actually, since Doris worked, we've now all moved out into creating our own complete islands. And so we'll have some students present to you about that later, or we'll have them come by quickly. But you can now go in, get your own island, put your own buildings on it, and then go off the way you want. Doris is creative, so she actually built her snowman. She designed that island. So she's one of these artistic people who creates things. The building we're in now is something that I created with the help of my 13-year-old nephew. And if you look around, I mostly have posters with uploaded pictures. So I'm not a particularly creative type. The seats and everything that you see were brought in. So you can come into the virtual practicum course, and level one gets you to build an island, start populating it with things, and then look at the direction you want to go. And then we have a second level of the course, which is what Doris is in now, where you kind of go further and pilot it. And that's part of what you're seeing Doris is doing. She's doing a lot of this to see her interest as how do people work within these environments. So she's now studying this further. So you're part of what she's studying to see how did you work in that space. So I would invite you, if you have interest in this, we can get you going and starting your own islands. But as Doris said, when you can build your world, when you can make the materials, you make the rules, it can become very encompassing and very wonderful. So we would invite you to take these courses. We'll have one next fall. I'm going to be on sabbatical next semester, so it won't be next semester, but if you are interested, you could plan it into your fall curriculum and you could start designing your own islands. So this is a little bit of a segue into encouraging people to take some of those courses. And Doris, anything more about taking the courses? Would you recommend that to them? Although I'm sort of standing right behind you, so I don't think you can be real honest, but you might say a little bit.
If you have any desire to explore building in a virtual world, then you should definitely take those courses because it's very hands-on, and that's how I like to learn. I like to actually get in there and mess around with stuff and create. So if you have that inclination, you should definitely go for it. But realize that you're going to lose your life. You're not going to be able to do much of anything except think about this.
Thanks. And honestly, I started into virtual worlds in the late 90s because I wanted to get environments that would bring children in. They're in these games anyway, so why aren't we using them in education? So my focus is more on working with middle school kids. And adults, you kind of have to drag them in and then they start to see the value of it. But once you get into it, it becomes sort of an addiction where you can really do so much that it's hard to back away from it. But I hope some of you will join us. And Doris is one example. We have, I think, 12 very brilliant people who've been doing a lot of interesting work right now. And so I hope you join us in the future. But I guess for now, we'll give Doris a bit of a break. I don't know if she can stay around because she is one you want on her team for creativity. Okay, and she's giving you the photo album again. But Doris just came back from a long day's work and she's got a cat to feed. Calypso is her cat. And
Yes.
yeah. And thank you, Calypso, for sharing Doris with us. But we'll move on to what they have to do today, which is start to come up with a virtual space. But thank you, Doris, and I hope you'll all participate, and some of you will win. And I don't know who, but I think the more of you that vote, the better it'll be. So, Doris, thank you for your badges.
So please vote. It's fun. The pictures are fun. So enjoy it. And thank you. Have fun tonight.
Thank you, Doris. Now, Doris is going to maybe stay with us, I'm not sure. But what we'll do now, and if you'd put your mics off for a minute, I'm going to do like talking, and then I'll be turning it over to you. So if you keep, I think, Carolyn, your mic might still be on. So it gets a feedback loop going. Yeah. Oh, there. You're our DJ too. Okay. All right. Now, what we're launching tonight is something that you'll be doing during the month of December. It's all written up in the course in Module 6, which I haven't opened. And what I'll be doing is bringing that module open after we get through with this class. So you'll get more details there. What I'm doing is stepping you through a process, and you're going to work collaboratively. And Lydia is behind me, and her name here is Jody. So for any of you that have gotten comments from Lydia. She's doing instructional design, and she's been involved in the course. So, Lydia, you want to say hello to anybody? You could take the mic for a minute. Yes, I can. Do you want to say hello? Since I don't know if people met you virtually yet. We could hear you a minute ago. Thank you, Lydia. And she'll be becoming very active in this last module. So if you could bear with me a minute, I'll go over just a brief timeline and highlight some of these notes behind us. Tonight, you're going to be breaking into groups, and they're going to be rough groups. I'm going to, at the end of this, ask anyone who hasn't documented to kind of lead a team. You're going to go to different parts of these 2 islands. I didn't assign places. It'll be up to you to find a place. And in your group, you're going to brainstorm a possible island. And I read all of your entries in the discussion board. And were most of you able to get a sense of other people's ideas, or do you want me to review them quickly? So did you read everybody, or should I review them? And tell me in the chat what you think I should do. Okay, I seem to be getting enough to review them. Quick review, and that was to get you starting to think. You don't need to stick with this. But we looked at, some of you, Adrian and Carl, were really looking at simulations of their work environments. They were thinking about industrial applications with the wind turbines, utility companies. A lot of businesses have moved into simulations. Derek's here with us. The military has done simulations for years. Flight schools have been taught by simulations. A virtual environment is an example of a type of simulation. Depends on how you use it. I'm using it as a lecture center right now. Doris used it as a creative center. You could use it anyway. So there was a strand for that. Several of you were thinking about the adult learners. We had Linda, who was thinking about social work environments. Mary was thinking about ways to bring in her adults who might need help to get ready for courses. And Anne over here was thinking about creating an environment where adults could come in and create games. So there were those of you that focused on adults. We have Letitia was thinking she wanted a boutique so that she could look at her marketing and retail applications. So that's another one. Cheryl was talking about teaching her soccer work within an environment that could have a lot of simulated soccer events, could have areas for coaching. Derek was looking for a place where he could bring vets so that they could find out about education possibilities. So he might want something, and he also was looking at a simulation of a college so that the vets could start getting ready for college environments. We had a couple of people looking at school applications. Like Ismini was thinking about a place for her math activities, her after classroom environment. And we had Ashley was looking at maybe setting up a home and careers environment like she has in her school. And then we had Caroline, who was thinking about creating an instructional environment for the students that she trains to work in an office. So we a lot of these were very reality based. We also had situations like with Courtney, who was thinking about having different islands that could be backgrounds for the literary characters that she was reading. So she might want something more involved in older history. And so, oh, can you hear me? Oops. Okay, am I back now? Can you hear me now? Okay. um, Thank you for letting me know. I'm trying to record and it might be interfering with the speaking. Um, so anyway, just to, and a few more. Will was thinking about, if I understood him correctly, it sounded very interesting. A situation where you might actually become part of a computer, which could be a good way to teach some computer programming. And Jean Pierre was talking about being able to go to different cultures through virtual environments. So there would be, you guys had a lot of ideas already. Now, in your group, which will be rather arbitrary, you're going to go off to some part of the island and imagine a space. And just assume you can do it. You know, Doris has spent some time learning how to do this, and if you take the virtual practicum, you'll spend time learning too. But for now, you assume that you can have whatever you want. It could be an island with many different places. So you could take a lot of your ideas and put them in one island that you break out as if it were a city. Um, Will's Island I thought was very interesting because I would like to be teaching computer hardware through a virtual island. If you want to, oh, am I out again? Let me turn my recorder off.